The time is 1:15. Here's the news edited by Catherine Pereira, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. Chinese government funds Sri Lanka's digital education transformation project. Manna Ramesh repatriated to Sri Lanka from Dubai. Sri Lanka's official reserves up to $5.43 billion in April. ICFS to host Education Yalpanam for students eyeing higher education in 7 countries. Minister Ramesh Pathirana says that another 3,000 persons will be recruited to the health service. Israel criticizes terms of Gaza ceasefire with Hamas, but talks go on. Local news in detail. The Chinese government has pledged support for Sri Lanka's digital education transformation project, as outlined in a recent proposal. This initiative aims to enhance general education through the provisions of classrooms, data centers, and necessary equipment like tables, studio rooms, and conference facilities. These resources will facilitate blended learning methods and resource sharing and enable teachers with the special skills to engage students effectively. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal, signaling a significant step towards modernizing education in Sri Lanka. Underworld criminal gang leader Ramesh Priyajanaka, who also known as Manna Ramesh, who was arrested in Dubai, has been brought back to Sri Lanka this morning by a team of CID officers, the police spokesman said. DIG Nihal Thaldua said the special team of CID officers accompanying the wanted underworld figure had reached the Bandar Naik International Airport in Katunaika this morning. Yesterday it was reported that Sri Lankan security forces had been informed that notorious underworld figure Ramesh Priyajanaka, alias Manna Ramesh, had been arrested in Dubai, UAE. Meanwhile, criminal gang leader Damit Tatanaika has been taken into custody by the police special task force with the possession ice drugs at the entrance of Keravalapitia highways. The value of the drug is estimated at 14 million rupees. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news. Sri Lanka's official reserve assets increased by 9.6% to $5.43 billion in April 2024, compared to $4.96 billion in March 2024, according to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. However, this includes proceeds from the swap with People's Bank of China equivalent to around $1.4 billion, which is subject to conditionality on usability. The International Center for Foreign Studies is set to host the second session of the Education Yalpanam on May 11th and 12th at the Jaffna Public Library from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The event aims to provide aspiring students in the Northern Province with insights into higher education opportunities abroad. During the session, the ICFS will showcase study options in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada, the Netherlands, Germany, and Malta, emphasizing its commitment to accessibility. ICFS clarified there are no entrance fees or consultation charges. Education Yalpanam aims to democratize education opportunities beyond the capital and its suburbs, ensuring deserving students in the north can explore their options, the ICFS said. Minister Ramesh Pathirana says that Interviews have been conducted to recruit another 3,000 persons to the health service. He told in Parliament today that there are 1,000 vacancies for the service. Meanwhile, Minister Kanchana Vijayasakha said in Parliament that the necessary reforms will be introduced to enhance the efficiency of the electricity board. The government is ready to provide the benefits of the Uma Oy project to the people. That ends local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Kandy District's Municipality Specialist Dr. Krishanta Masachi says that the number of dengue patients reported in the district has been increased. 9 dengue patients have died so far. Kandy Municipal Health Division has also identified as the high-risk zone of dengue in addition to the 4 zones that have been identified as dengue risky areas in the Kandy district. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight. Sri Lanka Banks Association, Lanka Pay and FinCSIRT says they have been alerted regarding several incidents of financial fraud both globally and in Sri Lanka, disguised as attractive online offers, leading to mobile device users inadvertently clicking on unknown links and downloading malicious apps and files. This action grants scammers complete access to the mobile device, enabling them to control it remotely. Once the fraudsters take control of the mobile device, they have easy access to bank, payments, apps that are installed on the device, leading to theft from bank accounts and payment cards accessed via the mobile device. They wish to advise the general public to be more vigilant in order to avoid falling prey to such scams, they said, issuing a joint statement. That came to you on Watchlight. Moving on to world news, headlines first. Israel criticizes terms of Gaza ceasefire with Hamas, but talks go on. Lok Sabha elections 2024, millions brave searing heat to vote in India. South Africa, deadly building collapse leaves scores trapped. World news in detail. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said a proposal for a new Gaza ceasefire is far from Israel's basic requirements, but negotiations will continue. His comments came after Hamas said it had accepted the truce terms offered by the Qatari and Egyptian mediators. The ball is now in Israel's court, an official in the Palestinian group said. Overnight, Israeli forces and tanks were seen near the Rafah's border crossing in southern Gaza, reports in Israeli media said. Earlier, Israel's military carried out airstrikes on Rafah on the border with Egypt after warning Palestinians to evacuate eastern parts of the city. India's general election is usually held every 5 years in April and May, and voters and polling officials are used to dealing with the harsh summer heat. But this year, India, along with other parts of Asia, is experiencing one of its hottest summers on record, in line with the recent years. Last month, at least 9 people died due to heat-related issues as searing temperatures hit the country. In April, Federal Minister Nitin Gadkari fainted while addressing a campaign rally in the western state of Maharashtra, later explaining that the crowded venue and high temperature had made him feel uneasy. A rescue operation is continuing in South Africa after a 5-story building under construction collapsed, killing 2 people and leaving another 53 trapped. Officials in the city of George, West Cape province say 22 people have been pulled from the wreckage and taken to hospital. A team of 75 crew were on the site when the building collapsed yesterday. The cause of the incident in the coastal city is being investigated. 75 members of the construction crew have been confirmed on site at that time of the incident, he added. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Israel criticizes terms of Gaza ceasefire with Hamas, but talks go on. Lok Sabha elections 2024, millions brave sheer heat to vote in India. South Africa, deadly building collapse leaves scores trapped. That ends World News.
Development News.
Marga, however, in Anuradhapura will be developed. A discussion in this regard was held by the Irrigation Department of the North Central Province and the farm organizations in the area. Water supply will be provided to the 300 acres of the paddy land from this waiver. That came to you on Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
Sri Lanka rugby team is leading at the international grading. The rugby team has gained the victory over India and Kazakhstan recently. Currently, Sri Lanka has secured the 41st place of the rugby grading. Earlier, Sri Lanka was at the 44th place. That ends the sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Colombo will be among the first set of destinations to be served by the Emirates A350 aircraft entering service in September 2024, the airline announced yesterday. Emirates' fourth daily service to Colombo EK654 and 655 will be served by A350 from January 1st, 2025, with 10 new A335s expected to join the Emirates fleet by March 31st, 2025. The airline plans to deploy its latest aircraft type to 9 destinations in the coming months, offering the customers its latest signature cabin experience. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Moving on to economic news, the government has given the green light for the development of 484 megawatt wind power stations in Mana and Punareen. This initiative comes as a memorandum of understanding signed with Adani Green Energy Limited of India. In line with this decision, the cabinet appointed a negotiation committee tasked with evaluating the project proposal submitted by the company. That ends Economic News.
Weather report.
An enhancement of showery condition over most parts of the island is expected during next few days. Shashwat showers will occur at several places in western, Sabaragamu, central, northwestern, over and eastern provinces and in Gaul and Matra districts after 2 p.m. Showers thunderstorms may occur at a few places elsewhere during the afternoon or night. Showers may occur over the coastal areas of the Puttalam to Hambantota via Colombo and Galle during the morning too. Very heavy showers about 50 mm are likely to take place in some places in western Sabaragamu and over provinces in Galle and Matra districts. That ends Weather Report. To wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Chinese government funds Sri Lanka's digital education transformation project. Manna Ramesh repatriated to Sri Lanka from Dubai. Sri Lanka's official reserves up to $5.43 billion in April. ICFS to host Education Jalpanam for students eyeing higher education in 7 countries. Minister Ramesh Patirana says that another 3,000 persons will be recruited to the health service. Israel criticizes terms of Gaza ceasefire with Hamas, but talks go on. With that, we wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka.
Here's important news from the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation. All Rajya Susal outlets of the SPC gives a 5% discount for medicines on prescription for senior citizens above 55 years, children under 5 years and pregnant mothers. SPC provides high quality, safe, efficacious medicinal drugs at affordable prices. The State Pharmaceuticals Corporation of Sri Lanka. Your health is our concern.
It's 31 minutes down 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. You are with Radio Sri Lanka, listening to us on FM 97.4, 97.6 and on the web www.slbc.lk. Till 2 p.m. let's listen to lunchtime music on Radio Sri Lanka.